Hi everyone, I'm going to be colouring from Meine Reise Durch Europa by Rita Berman. Notice how quickly I said that. I didn't want you to hear my poor pronunciation. Now we've been doing this page opposite the gelato page. Now I know I used the Bambino pencils for this one, but I'm going to have a go with Castle Arts on this one here. The reason for that is that I thought it would be fun to try some different pencils out on these pages. I thought it would be good. So I'm just going to move my book, move my pencils out of the way so I can get the picture into shot. Oh, need a bigger desk. I expect everyone is familiar with the problem. Right, so is that, yes, lovely. Okay. So we did these very colourful houses on this side, but I think we've got a sort of tree pattern, but we've also got some sort of stripes and things, so I think it looks like fun. I've just noticed here we've got a bit of a smudge going on from here. I'm just going to see if I can erase that a little bit first. I don't know if I can really, but it's okay, we'll cope. So firstly we're going to do the trees. Now my idea was to do a nice light background of tree and then put some other colours into it. So I'm going to start with the Castle Green light. Now these, let's get it there. These are from my obviously Castle Art set. This is the 72 set. I've been using these quite a lot for videos lately, but they are rather nice, and I was gifted them, so they're special as well. Although I have been gifted other things too. I'm very lucky. But they happen to be on the desk because I'm doing a whole page with these in another book. So I thought I would just grab them and have a go and see how they work on this paper, which so far seems very good. Obviously I'm just trying to put down a flat colour at the moment. I'm not going to be shading anything on this tree. Anyway, it's a little bit small, and my idea was just to keep it quite plain. I'm just going to put that pencil aside and keep it out because I may notice, I may want to go over it again. I'm going to do the darker leaves first. So I'm going to use the Castle Green Deep. It's quite hard to get it just right so it works with the lamp, but if I pull the lamp closer, it blinds me. It's a nice lamp. I just noticed we're not all quite showing. There we are. So it's nice and bright, but yeah, sometimes it's a bit too bright. In the evenings I turn it down a little bit to rest my eyes. It's still really bright. Even you can adjust the brightness, which is very, very useful. Okay, now I've done that, I want to go back over the other green, the Castle Green light, and I'm actually going to go right over the top of all of it because for me that makes it easier to get a more even colour and make sure that I've filled in everything. So there we go, and you can see it's a bit darker now. And then I'm going to think about background and stripes. Now, I think I'd like this to look, I'm going to say realistic, and that's completely the wrong word because this is not a real picture, it's just a fun image. I'm going to do, behind the trees, I'm going to do blue, so it looks like sky. And I actually have a sky blue in my set, so why not? Let's use the sky blue and do this background, and then we'll play around with other ideas up here and I'll have a think. So here I'm just going to do an even layer of this blue all over this section of background. It's actually quite a dark blue, isn't it? It's not a colour I would call sky blue, but hey, I think the end of it looks quite pale. Maybe not. Maybe not in the camera, it doesn't. Never mind. It doesn't matter. It's not. We're not going for realism here, are we? By any stretch of the imagination. Going for fun. So just colouring in the whole of this bit. So I have got, I am planning on doing quite a few videos from this book because it's really lovely, and I've had a few other new books lately as well, so I'm really lucky. I am doing a series of pictures from World of Flowers by Johanna Basford, as well as Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I have been doing the Wonder Room from Ivy and the Inky Butterfly and haven't forgotten. I am going to keep going with that. I just need to find space on my desk for all the polychromos pencils, but I will. And I also have something on the go from Lost Ocean, which I was very kindly gifted very recently, which is good. And I've also got Kirby Rosan, is that his name? I can't remember. I've got his book, and I've gone to play with that. Now I'm going to make this look underneath. You can't see my finger, I should push it up a little bit. Look like a field, so I want some sort of greens and browns. So I'm going to start with a darkish green. We have the chrome green, and I'm going to put that under here as if it's grass. So yes, and I'm going to do some from that. I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that book. It's so different to anything I've done before, and it's going to be really fun and challenging at the same time. I mean, this book by Rita, obviously I've not had a book by Rita before, but it's quite whimsical and cute, which is similar-ish to Johanna Basford in a way. Now the in-between stripe I'm going to do with the Oxide of Chrome. Look, that shows up better than it does here. It's because of the way the light captures the metallic paint. So anyway, oh, that's really close. And we'll finish that and we'll go over that in another colour. That's too pale, that's too similar. I'm sure if I pressed harder it would look significantly different, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go in with another colour, and I'm going to use the Cadmium Green to go over that centre line. So I'm looking forward to that. I've got my eye on where I'm going to start, which is always good fun. Once I've got an idea, I want to go with it, so I will be doing that soon. Okay, above here. Now what is going on here? Are these clouds and this part of the sky? I'm going to say yes, because why not? So I'm going to use the Cerulean Blue Light there, and I haven't sharpened this yet, to do this line. That's a pretty colour, isn't it? Again, not really sky, but almost. Possibly Mediterranean, hot summer's day, sky, maybe. There we go. I think I'm going to do this across one, the same, just because we did two the same down here. I haven't done those little triangles down there, have I? Excuse me, snipping. There we go. And I'm going to find a different blue, and I'm going to go light. I'm going to go, Cobalt Turquoise for the rest of this bit. And those triangles I'm going to leave white as if they're clouds, because I'm thinking surreal picture, maybe, you know, let's have a bit of fun with it. And I think the white will work anyway. At the bottom though, those triangles aren't going to be left white. We actually need a blue. No, a green. Goodness, what am I saying? I'm going to do a pale green. The leaf green middle for these. And again, I'm just blocking them in. Nothing too special. Just like lots of bright colour. It's quite similar to the trees, but it is a different colour. It stands out nicely. And now we have these stripes at the top. I mean, are these grey clouds? I think that's what I'm going to do. And this picture isn't going to be as bright as the others, but I think that's what I'm going to do. I've also noticed my background is not very neat. I'm going to work on that in a minute. So I'm going to use the cool grey for every other stripe. Here. I'm going to use a blending pencil to try and improve that background, and I can talk to you a little bit about blending pencils. There are lots of different brands, and they can, some are better than others, and also some people like to just use a blending stump, which is like a piece of paper shaped into a point, which I haven't tried, I have to say. This is the, you know, I'm going to leave that white. I like it with the white. So I'm going to show you, this is my, I have a Staedtler blending pencil. I have a Prismacolor blending pencil, and I have a Dash pencil blender, and I have a Derwent blender. So we have 4 different blenders, and you can see they look a bit different to each other. This one's very white. Should we try one on each bit and then we can see how they compare? Now blenders are obviously not supposed to just mix up one colour. They're supposed to mix together several. What I'm doing is really burnishing, so I'm pushing the colour down into the paper. So I should be using a burnisher. I do have one of those as well. You see how effective that Staedtler one is? It's nice and smooth. But it will just show you how smooth these can get things. So that's the Staedtler. I'm going to move on to the Prismacolor one. I'll just give it a sharp. Now always check the nib for colour. Sorry, I don't, it's going to come into focus. Yeah. If there's any colour on that nib, you want to scrub it away on a rough piece of paper first, or else you blend that colour into what you're doing. So this is the Prisma. I'm usually quite impressed with the Prisma, and it should just smooth. But I have to say the Staedtler is potentially my current favourite, but the Prisma I find works well. Remember, we're using Castle Arts pencils, so we're not using one that's a brand of any of these blenders. Doesn't really matter. This is the Dash. This is the expensive one. I'm just going to sharpen this. It's got a dirty end. I'm just going to make sure that's disappeared. It has. So we're going to do this bit. And you see, you just use the same circular technique that you would use when you were colouring. Now, blending 2 colours together is a tricky business, in the sense that if I don't put the colour down quite well to start with, it can't work miracles. So if I put down red here up to this middle peak and blue there, I can't use a blender and expect it to make purple. I have to mix the colours myself a little bit first before I use the blender. Now that isn't really working very well there, is it? It's not really doing much with that, which is interesting. I have found the Dash is very good in the past, but obviously not on this brand of pencil. This is the Derwent. I can hear a really strange noise. I can't work out what on earth it is. Now the Derwent sometimes leaves a bit of a colour on what you're blending. It hasn't done here because we've got quite a defined colour. But you might think they're much of a muchness, but this one isn't so good. I'm going to grab my Staedtler and go over that, see whether we can make some improvement. It might just be my colouring. Another idea for blending is you can use a white, but obviously that makes the colour you're using milky, or you can just do another layer of the colour that you did already. There we go. I'm going to leave that there, but I hope that was quite interesting for you. I will try and make sure I put these in the description so that you can, if there's one that really stood out for you that you'd like to buy, you can grab it, or well, you can have a look at it and see where I got it from. Okay, so there we are, that one's done. It's not as bright as I usually do a Rita Berman picture, but it's fun, I think, and I hope you enjoyed it. So thank you for watching, and happy colouring.